My realm is a 2-development county with no barony level titles in the middle of the Atlantic. It's one of the worst independent realms in the game. But we do have what is possibly the best faith in the game, the faith of piracy, also known as Brethren of the Coast. Brethren of the Coast tenets are Terror of the Seas, which allows us to raid no matter what government we are. Way of the Cutlass, which allows us to conquer any duchy when we become illustrious. And it gives us access to the powerful Invasion CB once per lifetime. And the final tenet is Pursuit of Power, which does the same thing as Way of the Cutlass, but also makes our vassals like us less. Oh well, they aren't all winners. My starting character is Captain Porter of the Broadhurst dynasty. He is a custom ruler who I made brave, careless, cynical, and most importantly, a brilliant strategist and reaver. I'm gonna be doing a lot of reaving in this playthrough. In fact, reaving is the only thing I can do right now. And I can't even reave the richer parts of the mainland because everyone there is much stronger than me. So I went to the Gulf of Lawrence. There is not much loot there, but it's less protected. I was able to take enough to increase the size of my men-at-arms regiments, so that I could now raid around Washington and New England. After each raid, I would hire more and more men-at-arms, until the economy of Bermuda could not support it. But that's okay, that's what the mainland is for. I got the raider trait and created the duchy title of Bermuda. I want to conquer the Caribbean. That's where all our holy sites are, and the giant archipelago is a perfect spot for a pirate empire. They were out of Diplo range, so I first conquered South Jersey. From there, I declared a grand adventure on the Kingdom of the West Indies. I had to hire the Black Flag Raider Mercenary Company, but I won the war. The Grand Adventure CB only allows you to take one duchy, and you have to abandon all the lands you held before, but Jamaica is bigger and richer than Bermuda, so I'm not complaining. From Jamaica, I raided the rest of the Caribbean, filling my war chest and weakening my future enemies at the same time. Then I started conquering. Haiti had just exhausted itself against the Kingdom of Domingo, so they were the perfect first target. I sieged down their capital and captured their ruler, winning the war and getting a duchy on the island of Hispaniola without even fighting a battle. Puerto Rico was in an alliance with the Antilles. Together they were stronger than me, but by assassinating the King of Antilles, I ended their alliance and easily conquered Puerto Rico. Then I was attacked by the Duchy of Orient on Cuba. They wanted to take Jamaica from me, the island that's been the center of my dynasty's power for over half a decade. At the same time, the Jamaican peasants revolted, also wanting to kick me off my island. I was able to repel the invaders and smash the uprising. Since my last war with Haiti, it had collapsed into several independent counties. I attacked them all at once and took the entire Kingdom of Haiti. Now I only shared Hispaniola with the Kingdom of Domingo. Thanks to the Invasion CB, I was able to take every single county they held. I then formed the Kingdom of Haiti, and because I owned the entire island, I could click the button to unite Haiti and Domingo into the Kingdom of Hispaniola. Now Pirate King Porter took revenge on the Duchy of Orient by conquering them. He died of old age and was succeeded by his son Stefan. During Stefan's reign, I continued to conquer the Caribbean. I had to bribe my pirate vessels to keep them loyal, and still I had to fight multiple rebellions and uprisings, and whenever I ran out of money, I would raid Mexico for more. When my control over Hispaniola was secure, and I ruled over most of the Caribbean, I decided to use Stefan's Invasion CB to conquer Florida, aka the Magic Kingdom ruled by the Voltneys. Florida was de jure part of the Caribbean, and taking it would allow me to create the Empire title. As I declared war, Stephen died of old age. It's probably something I should have seen coming, but I was hoping to finish the playthrough without having to deal with another succession. Stephen's granddaughter Flora was the new pirate queen. I won the war for Florida easily enough, but the real headache was about to begin. First, I inherited a war from the Magic Kingdom against some duke in the Holy Columbian Commonwealth, and because I knew the non-pirate vessels of Florida would cause trouble sooner or later, I immediately started a war to strip them of their lands. While I was fighting them, a Liberty faction pressed their demand to lower Crown authority. As I didn't want to fight 3 wars at once, I accepted. I then immediately raised the Crown authority again. This seems like it shouldn't be allowed. But then another faction pressed their demands, this time for independence. I was not about to give up half my realm when I was so close to forming the Empire of the Caribbean, so I refused. I was just finishing up the other 2 wars in Florida when 3 different peasant revolts happened, one in Florida, one in Cuba, and one on Hispaniola. I now had to put down 4 different rebellions across the Caribbean. And what made that extra fun was that every time I embarked my army to defeat the rebels on a different island, I had to pay an embarkation cost. After a few years of this, my army and my money were spent. But the rebellions were defeated. Just before they threw in the towel, an alliance of the last 3 independent duchies on Cuba declared war on me. I was bankrupt and my levies depleted. I couldn't defeat them all at once, so I surrendered. Thankfully, they only wanted 1 county, so the defeat wasn't a catastrophe. For the first time since Flora took power, the realm was at peace. Over the next few years, Hispaniola recovered. We filled up our treasury with Central American gold. The Cuban 3-duchy alliance fell apart, and we were able to retake our lands and then some. Finally, I was able to create the Empire of the Caribbean. What I love about this pirate empire is that we're centrally located. Basically, we can raid any coast we want. And by using the Mississippi and the Amazon river systems, even inland isn't safe from us. After a quick boat trip to one of our holy sites and a few perks in the theology lifestyle, I could reform the Brethren of the Coast faith into an organized religion. This got rid of the negative 20 vassal opinion of having an unreformed faith, making my empire much more stable. In hindsight, I probably should have reformed my faith first, and then conquered the Caribbean, but there you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.